Happy Halloween on Flat Earth. We are now live on. We got a lot of subjects to talk about. Earth is still flat, by the way. Guys forgot. Unapologetically flat, critically flat. Once upon a time, the earth is flat. And was a man named Llewellyn who impressed all the people so much they put him on the throne. Got a lot of controversial subjects. Once again, happy Dia de los Muertos. Or, okay, it's over with. November 1st. Big shout out to Flat Earth Court. Jesus in the Clouds. It's a wonderful song. I like it. It sets the tone. Sets a pretty strong tone. Yeah, man. We're gonna be talking about the Celtics or the Celtic people. Hmm. I don't even know if you guys can hear me. Mm. Can you hear me? Mic check 1, 2. Can you hear? Mic check 1, 2. I think this is gonna be the best I can do for audio right now. Anybody, please give me a big hello or a big happy Halloween so that we can get this thing started. Just let me know that somebody's out there. Give me a big hello or happy Halloween. Happy November 1st. We got a lot of catching up to do. Variations in tactics. The heading means literally the nine variations, but as Sun Tzu does not appear to enumerate, but as Sun Tzu does not appear to enumerate these, and as indeed he had already told us that such deflections from the ordinary course are practically innumerable. We have little option but to follow Wang Si, who says that 9 stands for an indefinitely large number. All right, so you may have noticed that I started this reading on part 9. Part 8, I didn't read anything. But this actually is chapter 8. And it's saying that 9 stands for an indefinitely large number. All it means is that in warfare, we ought to vary our tactics to the utmost degree. I do not know what Zhao Kun makes these 9 variations out to be, but it has been suggested that they are connected with the 9 situations, which is chapter 6. This is the view adopted by Shang Yu. Big shout out to you. The only other alternative is to suppose that something has been lost, a supposition to which the unusual shortness of the chapter lends some weight. All right? So Sun Tzu said, in war, the general receives his commands from the sovereign, collects his army, and concentrates his forces. When in difficult country, do not encamp in country where high roads intersect. Join hands with your allies. Do not linger in dangerously isolated positions. In hemmed in situations, you must resort to stratagem. In desperate position, you must fight. There are roads which must not be followed, armies which must not be attacked, towns which must not be besieged, positions which must not be contested, commands of the sovereign which must not be obeyed. The general who thoroughly understands the advantage that accompany variations of tactics, which know how to handle his troops. The general who does not understand these may be well acquainted with the configuration of the country, yet he will not be able to turn his knowledge to personal account. So, the student of war who is unversed in the art of war of varying his plans, even though he be acquainted with the 5 advantages, will fail to make the best use of his men. Hence, in the wise leader's plan, considerations of advantage and of disadvantage will be blended together. If our expectation of advantage be tempered in this way, we may succeed in accomplishing the essential part of our schemes. If, on the other hand, in the midst of difficulties, we are always ready to seize an advantage, we may extricate ourselves from misfortune, reduce the hostile chiefs by inflicting damage on them, and make trouble for them, and keep them constantly engaged, hold out specious allurements, and make them rush to any given point. The art of war teaches us to rely not on the likelihood of enemies not coming, but on our readiness to receive him. Not on the chance of his not attacking, but rather on the fact that we have made our position unassailable. There are five dangerous faults which may affect a general. Recklessness, which leads to destruction. Bravery without forethought. Cowardice, which leads to capture. Chinese word translated here is cowardice, as being a man whom timidity prevents from advancing to seize an advantage. A hasty temper, which can be provoked by insults. A delicacy of honor, which is sensitive to shame. Over solicitude for his men, which exposes him to worry and trouble. These are the five besetting sins of a general, ruinous to the conduct of war. When an army is overthrown and its leaders slain, the cause will surely be found among these five dangerous faults. Let them be a subject of meditation. Alright, so in arrears, that is the reading of variation in tactics. I can't say that word. Tactics. It just makes me click. Tactics. Tactics. And so now let us read The Army on the March, Chapter 9, Sun Tzu's Art of War. The contents of this interesting chapter are better indicated in. Never mind. Sun Tzu said, "We come now to the question of encamping the army." And this is a great time for. Yes, it's a great time for. Who loves taking breaks? I do. Well, without further ado, let's continue. Sun Tzu said, "We come now to the question of encamping the army and observing signs of the enemy. Pass quickly over mountains and keep in the neighborhood of valleys. Camp in high places, facing the sun. Do not climb heights in order to fight. So much for mountain warfare. After crossing a river, you should get far away from it. When an invading force crosses a river in its onward march, do not advance to meet it in midstream. It will be best to let half the army get across and then deliver your attack. If you are anxious to fight, you should not go to meet the invader near a river which he has to cross. Moor your craft higher up than the enemy and facing the sun. Do not move upstream to meet the enemy. So much for river warfare. In crossing salt marshes, your sole concern should be to get over them quickly, without any delay. If forced to fight in a salt marsh, you should have water and grass near you and get your back to a clump of trees. much for operations in salt marshes. In dry, level country, that's right, level country, take up an easily accessible position with rising ground to your right and on your rear. An army should have a stream or marsh on its left and a hill or tumulus on its right, so that the danger may be in front and safety lie behind. So much for campaigning in flat country. That's right. So much for campaigning in flat country. Just for you who want to always be able to refer to this is Sun Tzu's Art of War, Chapter 9, Verse 9, where it says, in dry, level ground, take up an easily accessible position with rising ground to your right and on your rear, so that danger may be in front and safety lie behind. So much for campaigning in flat country. These are the four useful branches of military knowledge. Those namely concerned with mountains, rivers, marshes, and plains. Compare it to Napoleon's military maxims, number one, which enabled the Yellow Emperor to vanquish four several sovereigns. Regarding the Yellow Emperor, Mei Tao Chen asks, with some plausibility, whether there is an error in the text, as nothing is known of Huang Ti having conquered four other emperors. The Shi Chi speaks only of his victories over Yan Ti and Qi Yu. In the Liu Tao, it is mentioned that he fought 70 battles and pacified the empire. Cao Kung's explanation is that the Yellow Emperor was the first to institute the feudal system of vassal princes, each of whom, to the number of four, originally bore the title of emperor. Li Chuan tells us the art of war originated under Huang Ti, who received it from his minister Feng Ho. All armies prefer high ground to low. High ground, says Mei Yao Chen, is not only more agreement and salubrious, but more convenient from a military point of view. Low ground is not only damp and unhealthy, but also disadvantageous for fighting. Our armies, all armies prefer high ground to low and sunny places to dark. If you if you are careful of your men and camp on hard ground, the army will be free from disease of every kind. Make for fresh water and pasture where you can turn out your animals to graze. The dryness of the climate, the, the dryness of the climate will prevent the outbreak of illness. And that's right, camp on hard ground. The army then will be free from disease of every kind, and this will spell victory. That's right, spell victory. When you come to a hill or a bank, occupy the sunny side consequence of heavy rains up country, a river which you wished for is swollen and flat with foam. You must wait till it subsides. Country in which there is precipitous cliffs with torrents running between them, deep natural hollows, confined places, tangled thickets, quagmires, and crevices should be left with all possible speed and not approached. While we keep away from such places, we should get the enemy to approach them. While we face them, we should let the enemy have them on his rear. If in the neighborhood of your camp there should be any hilly country, ponds surrounded by aquatic grass, hollow basins filled with reeds or woods with thick undergrowth, they must be carefully routed out and searched, for these are places where men in ambush or insidious spies are likely to be lurking. When the enemy is close at hand and remains quiet, he is relying on the natural strength of his position, strength of his position. When he keeps aloof and tries to provoke a battle, he is anxious for the other side to advance. If his place of encampment is easy of access, he is tendering bait. That's right, he's tendering a bait. Movement amongst the trees of a forest shows that the enemy is advancing. The appearance of a number of screens in the midst of thick grass means that the enemy wants to make us suspicious. The rising of birds in their flight is the sign of an ambuscade. When birds that are flying along in a straight line suddenly shoot upwards, it means that soldiers are in ambush at the spot beneath. Startled beasts indicate that a sudden attack is coming. When there is dust rising in a high column, it is a sign of chariots advancing. When the dust is low but spread over a wide area, it betokens the approach of infantry. When it branches out in different directions, it shows that parties have been sent to collect firewood. A few clouds of dust moving to and fro signify that the army is encamping. Humble words and increased preparations are signs that the enemy is about to advance. As though they stood in great fear of us, says Tumu. Their object is to make us contemptuous and careless, after which they will attack us. Shang Yu alludes to the story of Tian Tang and Qi Mo among the Yan forces led by Qi Jie chapter 82 of the Shichi, we read Tian Tan openly said, "My only fear is that the Yen army may cut off the noses of their Chi prisoners and place them in the front rank to fight against us. That would be the undoing of our city." The other side, being informed of this speech, at once acted on the suggestion, but those within the city were engaged in seeing their fellow countrymen thus mutilated and fearing only lest they should fall into the enemy's hands, were nerved to defend themselves more obstinately than ever. Once again, Tien Tang sent back converted spies who reported these words to the enemy. "What I dread most is that the men of Yin may dig up the ancestral tombs outside the town, and by inflicting this indignity on our forefathers, cause us to become faint hearted." With the besiegers dug up all the graves and burned the corpses lying in them. And the inhabitants of Chimo, witnessing the outrage from the city walls, wept passionately and were impatient to go out and fight, their fury being increased tenfold. Tian Tan knew that then that his soldiers were ready for any enterprise, but instead of a sword, he himself took a mattock in his hands and ordered others to be distributed amongst his best warriors, while the ranks were filled up with their wives and concubines. He then served out all the remaining rations and bade his men eat their fill. The regular soldiers were told to keep out of sight, and the walls were manned with the old and weaker men and with women. This done, envoys were dispatched to the enemy's camp to arrange terms of surrender, whereupon the Yan army began shouting for joy. Tien Tan also collected 20 ounces of silver from the people and got the wealthy citizens of Chimo to send it to the Yen general with the prayer that when the town capitulated, he would allow their homes to be plundered or their women to be maltreated. Chi Chie, in good humor, granted their prayer, but his army now became increasingly slack and careless. Meanwhile, Tian Tan got together 1,000 oxen, decked them with pieces of red silk, painted their bodies dragon like with colored stripes, and fastened sharp blades on their horns and well greased rushes on their tails. When night came on, he lighted the ends of the rushes and drove the oxen through a number of holes which he had pierced in the walls, backing them up with a force of 5,000 picked warriors. The animals, maddened with pain, dashed furiously into the enemy's camp, where they caused the utmost confusion and dismay, for their tails acted as torches, showing up the hideous patterns on their bodies, and the weapons on their horns killed or wounded any with whom they came in contact. In the meantime, a band of 5,000 had crept up with gags in their mouths and now threw themselves on the enemy. At the same moment, a frightful din arose in the city itself. All those that remained behind making as much noise as possible by banging drums and hammering on bronze vessels until heaven and earth were convulsed by the uproar. Terror stricken, the Yan army fled in disorder, highly pursued by the men of Qi, who succeeded in slaying their general, Qi Qian. The result of the battle was the ultimate recovery of some 70 cities which had belonged to the Qi state. Violent language and driving forward as if to the attack are signs that he will retreat. When the light chariots come out first and take up a position on the wings, it's a sign that the enemy is forming for battle. Peace proposals unaccompanied by a sworn covenant indicate a plot. When there is much running about and the soldiers fall into rank, it means that the critical moment has come. When some are seen advancing and some retreating, it's a lure. When the soldiers stand leaning on their spears, they are faint from want of food. If those who are sent to draw water begin by drinking themselves, the army is suffering from thirst. If the enemy sees an advantage to be gained and makes no effort to secure it, the soldiers are exhausted. If birds gather on any spot, it is unoccupied. Clamor by night betokens nervousness. If there is general disturbance in the camp, the general's authority is weak. If the banners and flags are shifted about, sedition is afoot. If the officers are angry, it means the men are weary. When an army feeds its horses with grain and kills its cattle for food, and when the men do not hang their cooking pots over the campfires, showing that they will not return to their tents, you may know they, that they are determined to fight to the death. The sight of men whispering together in small knots or speaking in subdued tones points to the disaffection amongst the rank and file. Too frequent rewards signify that the enemy is at the end of his resources. Too many punishments betray a condition of dire distress. To begin by bluster, but afterwards to take fright at the enemy's numbers, shows a supreme lack of intelligence. When envoys are sent with compliments in their mouths, it is a sign that the enemy wishes for a truce. If the enemy's troops march up angrily and remain facing ours for a long time without either joining battle or taking themselves off again. The situation is one that demands great vigilance and circumspection. If our troops are no more in number than the enemy, is amply sufficient. It only means that no direct attack can be made. Literally, no martial advance. That is to say, chain tactics and frontal attacks must be eschewed and stratagem resorted to instead. What we can do is simply concentrate all our available strength, keep keep a close watch on the enemy, and obtain reinforcements. This is an obscure sentence, and none of the commenters succeed in squeezing very good sense out of it. I follow Lee Chuan, who appears to offer the simplest explanation. Only the side that gets more men will win. Unfortunately, well, fortunately, we have Chang Yu to expound its meaning to us in language, which is lucidity itself. When the numbers are even and no favorable opening presents itself, although we although we may not be strong enough to deliver a sustained attack, we can find additional recruits amongst our settlers and camp followers, and then concentrating our forces and keeping a close watch on the enemy, contrive to keep contrive to snatch the victory. But we must avoid foreign soldiers to help us. The nominal strength of mercenary troops may be 100,000, but their real value will not be more than half that figure. Okay, I like that. The nominal strength of mercenary troops may be 1,000 or 100,000, but their real value will be not more than half that figure. He who exercises no forethought but makes light of his opponents is sure to be captured by them. If soldiers are punished before they have grown attached to you, they will not prove submissive, and unless submissive, then will be practically useless. If when the soldiers have become attached to you, punishments are not enforced, they will still be useless. Therefore, therefore, soldiers must be treated in the first instance with humanity, but kept under control by means of iron discipline. This is a certain road to victory. If in training soldiers, commands are habitually enforced, the army will be well disciplined. If not, its discipline will be bad. If a general shows confidence in his men, but always insists on his orders being obeyed, the gain will be mutual. The general has confidence in the men under his command, and the men are docile, having confidence in him. Thus, the gain is mutual. He quotes a pregnant sentence from Wei Liao Zhu. The art of giving orders is not to try to rectify minor blunders and not to be swayed by petty doubts. Vacillations and fussiness are the surest means of sapping the confidence of an army. No vacillations and fussiness, people. How about that? No vacillations, fussiness. I'll take it. I'll take it. That was so intense, man. I feel like Sun Tzu. Flat Earth, first phrase from the gift horse. In a beautiful language, it sounded like Norse. Pure force, of course, directly from the source of knowledge and wisdom. At least that's what the thought. Could we be caught in a world of dark arts? Mystic magicians with evil in their hearts. We mystic musicians, we love to pick apart. You must love to fail, we too smart. And did I mention that with sharp? Flat Earth core and Llewellyn is a session. Push to start. As we embark on a journey to the world's edge, I feel like Morpheus, blue or red. Welcome to the show. If you don't know, then you don't know. Go. You've been through that before. You smelling like manure at the bottom of a sewer. This is what happens when I start rapping. Shots start firing, girls start laughing. It's just a big metaphor. You still believe in dinosaurs. It was never flatter. Who was he? Another mad rapper? It's clear to see that he's a bad actor. Miss me with that slander. Here we dive deep like the Challenger. Modern day prophets, icy promised land. No space travel, get it as high as you can. 200 million miles. Big shout out to all of the people who chatted. We got Mr. Smith, The Darkness, Shatima Williams, Troy, North Southwest, and Adam Mall. Big shout out to Adam Mall. Long Beach, LBC. That's right, Mr. Smith. So much controversy in the world today. So much trouble in the world today. Earth is still flat. How about that? We got a lot of projects currently in effect. I really would love to get some of your assistance. But it's a war out here. Spiritual, physical, however you like it. What about let me do this. We gotta look at my lady, my home girl. Yeah, gotta look at the home girl. Mm, 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 mm.
Take your living so long. Take your living.
make sure y'all check out Flat Earth Court. Seriously, check out Flat Earth Court. I want to show you this one thing before we get out of here. Please, just hold your horses. About, give me about 5, 10 minutes. No, make that 30 seconds.
Costume contest. We do it every year. It's always a lot of fun. Let's get started. Our first caress.
So anyhow, let's check out my lady Wendy Williams. Checking this out from a call for an uprising. So if you want to watch the whole video, just check out call for an uprising. Right? But something is happening on this flat earth to Wendy Williams. And I don't know. I don't know what it is. So I want you guys to just look at what happens here. Tell me what you think it is.
Costume contest. We do it every year. It's always a lot of fun. Let's get started. Our first caress.
Now, I don't know if you guys saw that now. I think I need to rewind it for you. I don't know if I don't know how many spiritual that now. I don't know if you saw that. I don't know if you saw that, people. I don't know if you saw it. Excuse the little buzz. I'm gonna cut the buzz out in a second, but I want you to look at this again with me. Okay? And when you look, I want you to just look at it with as spiritual of a set of an eyes as you can muster up. And just imagine you can see what she is seeing. Look at her eyes. is certainly something paranormal. In fact, maybe I'll go through slowly here. First, all right, so we have first expression, one. Second expression, two. She's always really, how she is, very confident. Everybody thinks everything she says is a funny joke. I think everything is basically a joke. So hold on, it's a joke. Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna do it. Watch this, people. Watch this.
Coloring costume contest. We do it every year. It's always a lot of fun. Let's get started. Our first caress.
Now, the only reason I had to pause it there is because the trigger word is caress. The word caress. Now, it was placed in an interesting position where you would expect the word guest to be. You find caress, and it triggers what? You know what? You be the judge. You be the judge. Let's finish looking at this. You guys be a judge. All right. As soon as that happened, it said, "How you boo in?" Not how you doing. With that ghetto talk that they talk. Not how you doing. It how you booing. As soon as she hit the ground, the word boo came up. It looked like a spirit grabbed her by her head and slammed her down. I don't know. Can you guys see? Sean G, what's up? We got Cheese up in the building. We got, yeah, early morning. Yep. I figured if anybody is going to watch my program, I may as well give them the whole day to do it, because never be another November 1st. So I may as well give the person 24 hours to attend my live stream, because I don't think there's any hope of people going back. Maybe once they realize that I'm such a genius. Anyhow, okay, but your mic is too low and echoes too much. Thank you. Thank you. We'll change that. Echo. Mic's too low and echoes too much. Okay. Oh, okay. Mic is too low. Echoes too much. Echo. Mic check. Let's see. I have to find a way to make the echo stop. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 make everything echo a lot less. Um, Anyhow, let's just watch a few more seconds of this call for an uprising video, just so you guys can see what's going on, and I want to see if there's anyone willing in the chat to give us an idea of what you think is going on with our dear friend Wendy Williams.
Costume contest. We do it every year. It's always a lot of fun. Let's get started. Our first caress.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. As you
Yeah. So that is a call for an uprising. And okay, he's calling it an MK breakdown. And he's also saying that she's not a woman. Maybe I think she is a woman. Some women are just muscular, and we have to be okay with that. Okay. But MK, it could possibly be that, but which particular version, which program did? He doesn't get into that, but I like to be specific, so I'll say maybe she's an altar. Chances are kind of high though.
just saw Wendy Williams, who is a talk show host, I suppose, who, yes, I will refrain from saying she because I'm well aware of what Wendy Williams likely is. Nonetheless, Wendy Williams had an apparent she overheated apparently on her show this morning, 40 minutes or so into the show. And this has all the makings of either an MK Ultra breakdown in programming or a handler triggering her into fainting. Because remember, they use trigger words and they can switch into alters and snap their behavior very fast. Now,
Anyhow, people, I don't know what that is. What do you think? Is anyone out there? Okay, so if there is no one currently here, wait a minute, how did she? Let me make these people moderators real quick. Yeah, let me do this real quick. Add moderator. Adam. Sean G. Jeez. So they are going to be moderators. Everyone is. So is there no one here? Okay, so. Well, I guess I'm going to troll for a little bit. Let's see who is live. But anyhow, so Wendy Williams, I hope. Hope you get well soon. Call for an uprising. Hey, y'all go check him out. He has some strong viewpoints. I agree with him about a lot, but not everything. Oh, look at that there. Flat Earth, Art of War, Part 9, Army on the March. 2. So anyhow, I'm going to stay here for at least a few more minutes. If you have any questions about anything, any subject, please put them in the chat, and we can give a quick answer. Let's see. Let's find something better than this. Let's find a live stream other than my own. See who else is live streaming. These only people they're gonna give me. NASA. Well, let's go to NASA. See what they got. See what NASA has, right? Alright, there's a lot of NASA people there. Let's have a quick listen. I still don't understand why they have to use these GoPro lenses. Look at that curve. It's unreal. Why do they have to always use the lenses that distort the view? What a shame.
so young, you're very, very smart. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther. She couldn't do it. I'm a flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther. I'm a flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther. I'm a flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther. I'm a flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther. Hey, my name is Tristan, and I'm in second grade, and I asked my teacher to show me an experiment where water curves. She couldn't do it because it doesn't curve. The water always finds its level.
What'd your teacher do?
She just didn't talk to me anymore. All she did was walk away. And I was like, what is this about? What?
That's okay, though. For being so young, you're very, very smart. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther. She couldn't do it.
Rip this up for sound bites. This is awesome.
Hey, I wasn't around, so I'm doing it now. So we're up to one person. Next buck, see what's up. So, as you may have noticed, I'm on a new channel. Not my new channel, but it's, well, yeah, this is a new channel. So I think it was the third or the fourth one this week. I had a number of channels shut down, so we had to deal with the one with the 6,700 subs. Shut down, big deal. Number 2 opens up, it had 200 subs, came up to 600 something. Started streaming from there, that got shut down because of the Las Vegas shooting. And so today I wake up and I find out that because of the video I did talking about discussing the shooting with PK and a few others, the videos that had that channel all got strikes. So the channel with 6,700 subs got strike number 2, which means no more uploading.
for 3 months, not just live streaming, but no uploads at all. And then second, it's the stream that had the 600 subs, the newest one, is now blocked. And so luckily, I mean, I took down the video as soon as I could.
Damn, man.
On the other channel, so they couldn't flag all of them. But isn't that interesting? I mean, the thing is, I mean, we're literally dealing with a form of, I wouldn't say censorship, but definitely gatekeeping. Definitely gatekeeping. So I have a solution, though, and I figured this out weeks ago. The solution is to not rely on any particular platform, but just stream from wherever, but archive the content in one centralized location. And so that centralized location is the Flat Earth Network. So this is the exact reason why we got it. So anyway, anybody trying to figure out what happened, why my channel shut down, they would just go to globeexit.us and it takes you right over to this stream. So what happened, why my it's absolutely crazy, the effort going into trying to suppress anybody discussing psyops. Now, I don't know if you listened last night to the stream with PK and Smoke and Mirrors and the others. You know, I could play it right now. I could play a part of it right now and just let you know, but the thing is, that stream is effectively banned. So I'm thinking about uploading it as a, in fact, I'll do that right now. Well, I can't put it on YouTube. Clearly that name was flagged. I mean, because here's the thing. It was like a 3-hour video, and in the course of 3 hours we examined video footage, pictures, and we had a long discussion. It was like a panel of us for hours. But what I put up on YouTube was a 30-minute preview where we're just talking. We didn't even talk, we didn't even get into any of the details of the pictures or anything. And what it says at the end of that preview video is, to hear the stream in its entirety, go to flatearthnetwork.com. It's that easy. So what I'm thinking here is that this is just vindication. This is exactly the reason why we have to avoid the trap of getting habitually spoiled, you know, habitually rooted in one place. You can't let one platform just take all your time and attention and then you become sort of dependent on it. I know it's convenient, you know, to have your audience built in, but that little bit of dependency on the platform gives them leverage over you. You know, A has power over B, whether A is inflicting pain or rewarding for compliance. And so they do reward people for being compliant with regards to political correctness. And a lot of people, just out of necessity, realize that they can't get on the panel, they can't cover this information without risking everything. I had a few other individuals who wanted to be on the panel last night, but they just thought this is too controversial of an issue. Do you realize that questioning the mainstream media is considered to be controversial? I mean, that's, to me, that's ridiculous. Listen to this. Dear Infinite Plane Society, your video, Las Vegas Hoax, IPS with PK, Smoke and Mirrors, Robo Max, was flagged for review. We determined that it violates our guidelines. We removed it and assigned a community guideline strike. So anyway, blah blah blah, we suck. Okay, so no big deal. Don't care. I'm still streaming, still creating content, still scheduling interviews. That channel's going to grow. It's going to blow up. We're just going to be very careful. Yeah, people are like, would you rather believe that 500 people were shot? I mean, what is more likely anyway? Occam's razor, Fepe's beak. What is more likely? 500 people were shot by some guy at a hotel, or that the whole thing was staged like every other mass shooting terrorist attack that we've seen in the last, well, as far back as you can look. I mean, that's one of the topics of our conversation was last night, was that if you look back, you know, it didn't start at Sandy Hook. It started further back. You can find crisis actors and fake blood at the Oklahoma City bombing with Timothy McVeigh, starring Timothy McVeigh. Okay, so Kyle McDonald mirrored the video promo for the conversation with PK. And so I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So even just mirroring it got that channel. Now, luckily, it's not his only channel. It's his backup channel. But I'm having to tell people, hey, we can't be careless with this platform. It's not ours. We don't own it. It's their rules, and they do have sacred cows, and they have a sense of moral indignation against people who question dominant paradigms when it comes to these precious narrative setting psyops. That's really what it comes down to. But now here's something that came out of this that's kind of interesting, is that if you look at my video list right now, well, not in this video, on my other channel, which is blocked now, one of my videos has 17,000 hits in less than 24 hours. Less than 24 hours. Okay. 1 second here. And the video, oh, that's right, because it didn't have any images. It was just me talking about being blocked. But anyway, no big deal. We know what we're up against. We're prepared for it, and that's the whole point of this. Okay, so check this out. This channel that you're on right now has been lying dormant. But I have some videos on here that I've never put out publicly. And so I'm going to play one right now called Bill Hicks is Alex Jones, Agent of Endarkenment. It's a private video, so it's just kind of You know, as I've said before with regards to the Alex Jones is Bill Hicks conspiracy theory, when I first watched Alex Jones, I thought they were the same person. And I just thought so because I learned of him the same day. I was listening to Bill Hicks, I caught some Alex Jones thing, and I thought it was the same guy. And it's because when you look at someone's pictures and you compare them, you're looking at a static image, but the human face is always changing. And then you have your idiosyncrasies. You have your own unique ways of expressing yourself. And that uniqueness can shine through even if you're wearing something of a mask. There are certain mannerisms. And you see, when you do transactional analysis, only a fraction of what is communicated are the words themselves. The rest of it are expressions, gestures, tonalities, rate of speech. And so when people get triggered by me comparing the two, I just laugh it off, and I'm like, all right, well, you're not willing to look past what you've been told not to look at. This is one curtain you're not supposed to look behind. I get trolled more for comparing Jones to Hicks than I do for saying that nobody died at Sandy Hook or nobody died at Boston Marathon. People don't like this one. They would rather have you tell them the earth is flat than tell them that Alex Jones is an actor. Well, now it comes out that, yeah, he is an actor, or at least that was his defense in court, so that his antics on his show couldn't be used against him in his custody battle. And so I know that I could do a video, I could spend an hour just comparing clip after clip, facial expression for facial expression, tonality for tonality, and I could make the case unequivocally that they are the same. It has already been made. Others have already made the case. Case closed. Alex Jones was Bill Hicks. Now, I won't go as far as others have gone to say other things about who Bill Hicks was, but I can see the continuity. I can see how these identities were merged. I can kind of see the rationale, but look at this expression here. Look at the creases. Look at the brow ridge. Look at the forehead. Look at the hairline, and look at that really unique gash of a wrinkle, a smile wrinkle above the cheek. It's really deep and pronounced. And then take everything else you know about them, his connections, his relationships, the ones they had. There are so many shared relationships, coincidences between these two that are worth looking at. Who does he serve? Who is his master? Okay, so that was one video that I have on the subject. Bill Hicks is Alex Jones, Agent of Endarkenment. And here's another one that is kind of interesting. This is Bill Hicks is Alive, Glenn Beck covers the Alex Jones hoax.
So I'm going to play a clip from the Glenn Beck program in which they tossed around the idea that Alex Jones is Bill Hicks. And they did some side-by-side vocal comparisons. So those of you who are pretty upset about this and who get mad when I talk about it, you may want to turn this off because this is dead on.
And now it's time for another episode of Adventures on Prison Planet.
Every person you casually watch on television or on the internet is not who they say they are. On today's episode, we will explore the mountain of evidence that suggests Alex Jones is not Alex Jones. We all know Alex Jones is a fan of conspiracies.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Serious crap.
But this is the one conspiracy he doesn't like. It has long been reported on reputable sources like WordPress websites and 4chan threads that Alex Jones is, in fact, the legendary comedian Bill Hicks. This voice sound familiar to you?
The elite are all about transcendence and living forever and the secrets of the universe, and they want to know all this. Some are good, some are bad, some are a mix. But the good ones don't ever want to organize. The bad ones tend to want to organize because they lust after power. Powerful consciousnesses don't want to...
Yellow.
Hey, can you hear me okay? Sorry, I had the mic muted.
No, I got you.
Okay, yeah, I had the...
What's up?
Okay, so, is this who I think it is? Yes, it is.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Okay, are you trolling right now as beyond the imaginary C word?
No, I don't. I really rarely ever troll. I can come on with my main account on your stuff, so I just do that.
Well, this is a brand new account. My other ones have all been shut down.
Oh my gosh, they have, huh? Well, I guess I could then, because it's a new account, so.
Yeah, it's because of PK. The video that I had, it was just a 30-minute trailer to the 3-hour conversation. That trailer was uploaded onto 4 different accounts. 3 of them got community guideline strikes, and I deleted it before the 4th one could get one. And so I'm like, well, okay.
So your main IPS get it then?
All of them got it. So now I'm at another account, just a sock puppet. I have an army of sock puppets that I pre-approved for streaming, and so I'm on a new account. It doesn't matter to me.
Dude, no, I know, but I literally, did you see my email? I literally emailed you. I said it's ballsy to talk to PK #1, and it's ballsy to talk about this subject.
I saw that.
I'd be careful.
I saw that. Now, well, okay, I wasn't sure with your tone. I was like, but I think you're right about this. That talking about that topic is sensitive in itself, and then bringing in PK, yeah, that's going to get some attention. And obviously it did. They took out 3 accounts in one day.
Damn. Yeah, dude. Yeah, and it's kind of also your tone. I was actually listening to it. I was almost finished with it, and they don't. They're not. I mean, this is what I'm fearing, is that this whole fake news and all these hoaxers and shit being shut down. I have a feeling that this is kind of part of the plan, because this whole 32. I mean, like, we're cracking codes here, dude. These codes are just put right in front of our face, man. There's the 32nd floor and all this crazy stuff. Muzzle flashes on the 4th floor. I mean. Really, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty open.
I think the news. Sorry, but I think the news is like. I just wanted to say this real quick. I think the news is for the mainstream people. They're going to look at it. They're not going to see any of that. The 32nd floor, any of that kind of stuff. And then you have another group of people that are going to be like, "Oh, we've cracked the code," you know. And then right now they're bridging a gap, in my opinion. I think that they're going to go at, because you look at Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, they're getting more and more fascist with what we can talk about. So yeah. I think this is part of the plan. Then.
No, you're right, 100%. You're right. And so, do you think that my tone and my way of addressing it is being a little too insensitive and might be causing an overreaction? Or do you think that they're just cracking down anyway? Because we're cracking codes.
I think they're cracking down, but I really don't think that, you know, they have time to listen and be like, oh, he's saying it's a hoax. Oh, he's saying it's a false flag, you know, and then start like differentiating between these. And I think there should be a differentiation between the two, actually, because some people are calling it a hoax, and I don't believe it to be a hoax. I think it was more of in the false flag territory than anything, because I think people were hurt.
See, that's
I mean,
where
that would be
where I disagree. No, that's what's so controversial is that calling it a false flag doesn't it just increases the reason for outrage. But saying that nobody died is considered to be uber offensive, and to me, the case hasn't been made, and I don't trust the media one bit. And I think they pulled it off with a boatload of crisis actors, and I think the truth's going to come out on this one.
Well, you know how it works. There's going to be some real people there, and there's going to be some fake people there when they set these things up. And the real people it's going to be as real as anything that's ever happened in their life. They're going to hear the shooting. They're going to see people fall down and all this kind of stuff, and they're going to have the normal reaction to get the hell out of there. So I mean, you always have. It's kind of hard to differentiate, really, but. I think you should talk to a guy named Sean G's, a flat earther. He said that he has a friend that got shot in the chest, and his mom called him, and he's in the hospital and stuff.
I just made Sean G a mod on my channel here. Interesting.
So if we have people that know anybody, we probably should take it, obviously with a grain of salt, but also kind of scour the land to see if there are anybody. Are there any pictures? Is there anything?
No, we're looking. We're looking. We're waiting, because this has happened before where I've been, like, for example, Nice, Paris. The truck runs over some people, and I see rubber dolls that look like the training ones we used at Fort Lee, and I call it out as a rubber doll, and this guy says, "That's my girlfriend. She got killed today, and you're on the internet." And I'm like, "Wait a minute. Why aren't you at the hospital? Shouldn't you be at the morgue? Why are you on YouTube? I have no subs, and you're telling me that you know this person." And so I'm always getting this.
Yep.
I know somebody who died there, and it's like, if I took all the people who told me that they knew a victim from this or that, the death tolls would be in the thousands. It's crazy.
I know, and you can see by the comments, "Oh, my cousin," or "It was my, she's over on leave," or it's always these intricate stories from sock puppets. And really, the question there is like, is this some government sock puppet trying to tell me it's real, or sway the opinion, or is it just someone trolling, man? I mean, I don't know, but I would definitely talk to him, because he is a flat earther, I believe. He's not too fond of me. We've had chats before, but just to get some info. I mean, at least if it is really his friend, maybe there could be a name, or not a full name or anything to dox him, but just like, what hospital maybe he's in. Because look, if 400, 500 people got shot, there's going to be people with fucking bullet wounds going into all these hospitals rushing in. So this probably happened somewhat, but we don't really have any evidence for that, I guess.
Well, I'm glad you called, actually. PK actually kind of said, he says hi, sort of indirectly. He was like, "I've never spoken to you before, Tim," but somebody had set up our conversation, and he's like, "I've never really spoken to you before, but I remember about 3 years ago, you came into my chat and you trolled me pretty hard, and you attacked me about this and that, and that you were generally a troll." And I was like, "No, that wasn't me. That was the other Tim Osman." And so he remembers you from 3 years ago and wanted to make sure that I wasn't you. And I was like, "That's cool. You got kind of a shout out from PK. You're trolling."
Yeah, that's funny, dude.
Yeah.
After I got him good, though. I got him good. All right. He's another person that's living with mom and all of this stuff. I won't go too far into it, but I will say that PK and Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, their best everything, all of their work combined, was the Boston bombing on that one dude's show. They broke that down really, really well, and they made a very good case, in my opinion.
Yeah, that video was actually
Caravan to Midnight.
Yeah, Caravan to Midnight. Okay, that video was actually sent to me today, and I'm going to be watching it. And so,
Oh, awesome.
well, yeah. See, some of the same minds associated with that program are behind this flat Earth network, and the same thinking goes into it. And what we're doing here is making the information and the content the most important thing, and the platform secondary. So I'm not going to have a lot of time to deal with the antics of a lot of the trolls, because I have a scheduled set of interviews to do on a routine basis, and all of my content will end up at Flat Earth Network. So I don't care if they ban a channel a day. You know, I'll just go stream from somewhere else. So they can't really stop me from really doing anything at this point. And all
that was the way a lot of people wanted to go a long time ago, because there's stuff about Sandy, whatever, was removed quite a bit. So they were wanting to do that, but it's hard to get the following. But with the Flat Earth following, they definitely will click on a website to watch content. You know, so I think that you guys should probably try to get off YouTube, because I think the ban hammer's coming down, man.
Yes, it is. And I am off YouTube now. I mean, I'm no longer dependent on YouTube for anything. I can stream from anywhere. And what I have done, and this is kind of novel, is, and I'm going to have an app soon, but for the time being, it doesn't matter where I'm streaming from. If you go to a certain domain, which is linked on my website, or you just type it in, it'll take you right to my live stream wherever it happens to be that day on whatever platform. And then we also have access to close live streams on the website for paid members. So it's like, it wouldn't be cost efficient to troll me, because to buy 5 or 10 sock puppets, that's going to run you, I don't know,
excellent,
$300, $400, $500 a month.
No, yeah, that's the way to do it. I mean, shit, you want to pay to come troll? Fuck.
Yeah.
You know, come on, dude.
Yeah.
But hey, the first Boston bombing firecracker thing that happened, that PK, the one that you're gonna watch, is just get your popcorn ready, man, because it is hilarious, dude. The second one, not so good. There's actually 2 of them, but the first one is hilarious, dude. They're great together. And you know, that is one thing you just kind of brought up about the person that, you know, knows somebody from somewhere. Well, you might want to ask deep inside the rabbit hole David Weiss, who he knew in 9/11, because I think you might think that is a full hoax. I don't know, because he said that he got called out in the truther community about 4 years ago on some radio show, and he provided some fake pictures or something. I forgot, but John LeBon was all over him. But yeah, so that's another case of, oh, you know, I had 2 friends that died in the towers or something. So
yeah, it's an interesting phenomenon. And one of the things that they did with this particular event is they had victims chosen, most of them state employees, like teachers or whatever. Like, we have a superintendent from like some school around here who was supposedly killed in the shooting. So we have to take the media's word for it. Meanwhile, in my opinion, she probably got paid off. I know that sounds insensitive, but that's what I think. And so they have a candlelight vigil here. They have one there. The flags are at half-mast. And then you have the Red Cross out there taking blood donations. So you've got real tears, real blood, and a fake event. It's sort of like a mass human sacrifice, but they made it a voluntary sacrifice rather than actually having to kill people. They just did it in a street theater, and then I mean, the thing is so convoluted. I can understand why this is so hard to even talk about, because most people don't even grasp that we have crisis.
But do you
actors.
think that they do? Do you think that they do false flags? I mean, like Oklahoma City bombing. Do you think
I used
a bunch
to.
of children in the daycare? And
I used to believe in false flags, and I was horrified when Sandy Hook went down. I was horrified that the evil New World Order would murder 24 kids to advance an agenda. I was like, whoa, that's evil. That's a human sacrifice. That's blood. That's death. That's carnage. Then, as I looked into the phenomenon of crisis actors and psyops, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Something else is going on.